Hello, everyone. Heather here. And I wanted to talk today a little bit about how we can connect with ourselves and do our inner work. And one of the most significant ways we can do this is to give ourselves some quiet space and just sit and ask, what do I most need right now? Some people like to take this a specific step further and, ask their heart. They put their hand on their heart and they'll say, heart, please tell me what you need. I have broken it down into certain life areas. So if it's a career or work or business decision, I will ask, what does my business most need right now? What does my home most need? My relationship, my fun and creative side. And I just ask the question and I let whatever information needs to come in, drop in. It can be in the sign, like with symbolisms with words, or it could be an image, it could be colors, it could be a person's name pops up. And the reason why it's important to sit in the quiet space and do this is how we advocate for our own inner wisdom. This is how we connect to our inner guide that is the absolute best for us. And it's wonderful to have external supports and guidance and life and business buddies and mentors and all of the things. But the most important aspect to really knowing what we need is to ask ourselves. I was recently going through trying to make a decision with my business and found myself doing what was referred to in this particular coaching program that I'm in as a crowdsourcing, meaning, yes, I had done a certain amount of my own thinking and being with this particular question, but the way I had phrased it to the group was asking for their input, but I didn't offer a whole lot of what I had already come up with. And so the learning moment in that was to step back and do my inner thinking and feeling and sitting with and processing on my own first, and then share and say, these are the things that I've come up with so far. This is the one that resonates the most with me. This is the one I'm going to act on. And rather than looking for the advice of other people, right? We often do, we all do it. It's the human thing to do, right? Like, we're all spiritual beings, but we forget that our innate wisdom is the spiritual side of us. It's the soul piece. And so it is very easy to get caught up in the mental gymnastics, as I like to call them from time to time, of trying to get the answers we need in an outer way. And what we actually need to do is spend time with ourselves in the inner way and in the inner sphere. So if there is something right now that you're trying to get an answer on, trying to get guidance on, sit with the question. Give yourself the space and time to sit alone without interruption. And sometimes the answer will come very quickly. Sometimes all your body needs is 2 minutes to just sit and be still. For others, it may take longer. You may ask the same question over and over and over again for a couple of weeks. Typically, what I have noticed when that happens is that it's not time for you to have the answer yet. I've also thought and felt that when the answer isn't coming through cleanly or clearly, it's because I still have that energetic death grip on it, trying to force an outcome one way or the other. And it's also a possibility that you just need to rest and relax. and that stillness and silence and that non-answer that is coming through is actually what you need. You don't need answers in that moment. So all of this coming from the person who offers people perspective, who does intuitive work, psychic work, channeling, coaching, mentoring, all of the umbrella topics for offering and giving guidance, right? And tips and ideas and so forth. So how does that tie in with knowing one's own personal wisdom? When people are starting out with trying to remember, because we've just simply forgotten how to do it, trying to remember how to connect back within, that's one of the things I do with people. I sit in their energetic space and I help draw the answers out of them. And the person will always know if it feels on point to them or not. Quite typically what happens is, because we are so foggy or feeling like we're in a cloud or uncertain or things are murky, we need someone else to help offer us perspective and ideas that we have no attachment to as the person who's in the helping role, we'll say. And the reason why this is important is because in that instance, myself and other, healers and practitioners, we can hold space for the person with where they're at, offer the information that's coming forward, but ultimately allow that information to come through the person who is, in session with us or in ceremony with us, however you wish to phrase it. And so it allows the person to have the opportunity to hear the wisdom enough to kind of clear out some of the weeds, if you will, and get them to a point where they can start to trust themselves again and start to trust their inner wisdom again and learn how to listen again. In some instances, people have never done this, right? In this form, right? So when we are in the spiritual development cycles, we'll say, or when we are in growth mode of personal development, it can often be very tricky to know what you're actually listening to. Are these my head thoughts? Or is this my heart speaking? Like, what is happening here, right? And so when you're in that, that's when it's good to have a mentor to help you call the information forward and teach you various ideas and methods that particular practitioner uses in order for people to draw out that information. So I teach people a lot about doing their inner work. And even though people continue to, use my service, one of the things is that with each new layer of healing comes new awareness and new understanding and new ways of being able to implement what it is that they're trying to work through or process in their lives. So inner work starts with stillness and asking. And when you don't know how to sit still and you don't know how to ask, that's when it's good to have somebody help you along with that. So I encourage you to give yourself some space, some stillness, some quiet, and I would love to hear how it goes. Drop a comment below if you wish, and let me know how giving yourself some stillness helped you tap into what it is you most need at this time. Thanks for stopping in.